Hello, thank you for joining me in another video, or welcome if this is your first one. My name is Benga, and on this channel I talk about my plants, and today I want to deal with some of the, how do I put this, strugglers, the ones in the back of the class who are making noise, not paying attention, and their grades come and they don't do well and they're shocked. Yeah, that's what we're dealing with today. Here I've got my strawberries, here I've got my Dieffenbachia, and then here I have my alocasia, all of which have something going wrong with them. So I'm going to explain what went wrong and remove the dead material. At the same time, it's a bit of an experiment. I want to see how it goes. I want to just talk about a few things that are on my mind, and we'll see where the discussion leads us. Before we get into the main body of the video, I just want to give a shout out to Nikhil, who designed the banner for my channel. He is a talented artist, and Nikhil, if you're watching, let people know, get in the comments what they can get at you if you're taking commissions or if you want to show off your work. Let us know so we can appreciate. Without further ado, let's get into each plant and what's wrong with it. Okay, so change of plans. Between me doing the intro and now, I've decided that I'm going to make this a Q&A whilst I do the things I mentioned before. I'm going to go in 3 sections where I cover each of the 3 plants, or I deal with each of the 3 plants, and I'm going to try and split the questions into 3 categories. I'm not sure how well that's going to go, but I'll try and answer what I can in the time. Before I get into the questions, I want to just talk about what's wrong with this plant. It's not wrong, it's what's wrong. There are things wrong with this plant. I feel like I'm exposing myself, but that's fine. As you can see, one of the leaves is really, is it really even alive anymore? Not sure. This one around here is on its way to being the same as that one, and so is this one. What happened is basically I just didn't water it enough. Didn't realize that it was leaning because I hadn't watered it. I was just like, that's weird. The leaves are just doing a really funny thing. Okay. And I just ignored it. And yeah, in fact, actually, I think I tweeted about this. Yeah, I'll put the 2 on the screen. I was not on job, but I'm back now. You can see, it's kind of interesting, at least to me. I don't know if I'll be able to get it properly, but you can see at the, well, no you can't. If I move you, yeah, maybe now you can see. At the very base of the leaf, you can see it started to go a bit brown at the very bottom, and it started to split, which I just noticed today, so I thought I would highlight it. It's not, no, okay, I give up. Okay, there we go. Yeah, right there. Look. But aside from that, I think once I remove the dead leaves, it'll be fine. You can see that this leaf is looking a bit weird and wonky because it was leaning over, and then I started watering it more, so which is why it's now grown outwards as opposed to just completely flopping. Similar with this one over here. This one is fine at the top, and you can see there's also, how can I turn it there? You can kind of see here, there's a new leaf coming. Maybe by the time I edited it, this leaf would have unfurled. In fact, if it has, I'll put some evidence of the leaf here. Yeah, that's really cool. So let's begin with the questions. Oh, no, let's not begin with the questions. I haven't explained what I'm going to do. So what I'm going to do is remove the dying leaves, the dead one and the dying ones. And yeah, now on with the questions. For section 1, I'm going to be focusing. For section 1, I'm going to be focusing on the plant-related questions. So question number 1 is, what was the exact wording actually before I misquote? What is the intersection, bracket, connection, comma, relation, comma, mutuality, close bracket, between you and your plants? I thought this was a very insightful question. I don't know if I should name anybody because I haven't asked anyone if they're okay with being named on camera. So I'm not going to name anybody, but you know who you are, and if you I want you to make some noise in the comments if I read out your question. So I really like this question because it's actually, let me just answer the question. So my plants are all survivors. They've not necessarily all been through like super dark times where, can you even see it? Let me move closer. How am I gonna do this? One sec. Okay. I should have highlighted before. Let's take a moment to look at my hair. Are we seeing it? Are we seeing it in the back too? Are we seeing it? Are we seeing it? I'm a bit gassed, I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, let's answer the question. Not all of my plants have been through, like serious trials and tribulations and like serious struggles, but they've all had their moments where it's been a bit touch and go, or like I just need to pay a bit more attention to you or water you more frequently, etc. And I feel like that's a good representation of me. I've not been through major trauma or like heartbreak or a lot of the milestone negative events that a lot of people go through. But I think at the same time, my life has not been perfect and I've not always been exactly on the straight and narrow. So I think that's a good way of summarizing what the relationship is or the intersectionality between me and my plants. I would also say that because every plant has its own needs, I also like to not constantly, but in my head, I'm very aware that I am unique. And I'm not saying like I'm not like everyone else. It's more that if you just treat me as a carbon copy of all of your other friends or other insert whatever relation here, I may not give you back what you're expecting. Like, for example, I hate small talk. So if you try and small talk with me, I might entertain you for like 30 seconds, but I'll probably like make it very clear that I have no interest in continuing on the small talk. And I would rather, have a conversation about something specific and through that get to know you by asking and like uncovering through another method. But you literally asking me like, so what do you do? How old are you? Do you have any siblings? Like, please. Like, this stuff will come up. If this relationship is going anywhere, even if I just met you, if it's gonna go anywhere, then this information will come out some way or another. We don't have to like rattle it all off. You'll forget anyway. So yeah, I think that's a good way to answer that question. Next question. So next question is, how do I position my plants in relation to natural light? This is a really good question, and I wish I had a more in-depth answer or like something ready to go. I don't, but I have mentioned this. I don't know which order the videos are going to go up, and I'm not going to lie, but I have mentioned this in a video I've recorded. If it's up, I'll put it on the screen. If it's not, then I will link it down below once that video is up. But I talked about how different plants have different lighting requirements, as I'm sure you know, and so you should consider that when you bring a plant home or before you bring a plant home. And you should consider the two main things. One would be the direction that your window or light source is facing. So if you have a plant that's in a window that faces the east, it's going to get less light compared to a window that faces the south. If you're in the northern hemisphere, that is. If it's the southern hemisphere, then it's reverse. If it's the northern facing, if you're in the southern hemisphere, the north facing window has the most light throughout the day. Now I'm just going to pause on the question. The stem, like the base of these are fine, but these leaves are never going to come back up. And the leaves they're looking rather sickly. And I kind of want to remove them, but the leaves are quite sturdy, so it feels a bit wrong. So I'm going to just yank it anyway. Let me shut up. Okay. Yes, the positioning of plants. I would look at it as two things. One, think about what direction the light's coming from, and so therefore how intense is that sun and how many hours of sun are coming through that window. And then two, I'm going to cut this. And then two, how close is that plant to the source of light? Is it right up against the window or is it pulled back? And if it's pulled back, it'll get less. If it's right up against the window, it'll get more. That's basically the gist of it. I don't know where to cut this. Next question. There was two questions that kind of asked the same thing. One was, what's your dream plant? And the other was, what your bucket list of plants to get your hands on? So I'm going to answer them both as one. This changes all the time, but right now, a plant that I just learned about, which I mentioned in a previous video, what was that video called? It was the plant terminology video. I found out about a type of ficus. I think it's called the Ficus corica something, put the name on the screen, and essentially it's a variegated fig tree, which I think is really cool, and I want to have lots of fruit trees in the future, so that is one I would really like to own, because I just think it looks cool. Other plants, well, one of my dream plants actually was a banana plant, and now I have one, so yay for manifestation and all of that, or just going to Tesco, I guess. Let me consult my plant wish list, because I always forget. Okay, so number one, bird of paradise. The reason I don't own it now is I don't have space, and those things get big. And I also don't really have I don't have this big space that has a lot of light, and I know they need a lot of light. Two, this is proving quite difficult. I'm trying not to damage the leaves that are healthy, right? Even though I'm cutting into... Anyway, let me focus and not stop speaking. So, to show you what's going on, I am trying to peel off, the leaves grow in layers, so I'm trying to peel off this outer layer without damaging the layer underneath, but you can see I have damaged that layer underneath. But I'm trying to peel this off. It smells kind of almost citrusy. Anyway, on the theme of fruit trees, I would love to have a papaya tree. If you've never seen one, I'll put a picture on the screen here. I just think the way that the leaves grow is so like, the word that comes to mind is jagged, but maybe the fact that they grow perpendicular, so directly perpendicular to the main stem, but also the shape of the leaves is so sharp and geometric. Is that the right word? Yeah, I just think it looks very interesting. And I like papaya. Well, that's not true, actually. I don't like papaya. But again, in keeping with the theme, I don't like avocado. I have an avocado plant. Sometimes you're there for the plant, not the fruit. And I'm sure I'll know people who like papaya, so everyone benefits. I'm just going to show you where we are at. I've removed one layer, and it's got this interesting pink line, which I'm not sure what that's about, but just thought I'd show you. Now, I'm not sure if I should remove this leaf, because I really think we're good, but feeling a bit perfectionist, so I'm going to remove this leaf and answer one more question about plants, or maybe two. Okay, I'm going to just address some questions rather than actually answer them. One question was a segment, wow, you can't see my face, a segment on plants that can live in the shade, that I can do, but not now. I don't have them all off the top of my head, and I would like to give you a bit more comprehensive information on that. Actually, let me show you what's going on here. It's peeling so nicely. Okay, it's kind of like an onion. You don't peel, I mean you do, anyway. Can I do it in one? Oh, that was sick. Okay, in that case, sorry, no more questions. That was too perfect. I need to just end it there. Cut the cameras. But this is what it looks like. Only 3 big leaves at the top, but they're all a bit more healthy, so I'm happier. Here is the damage. This, and also this. I'm happier now because it looks good. It's got an annoyingly wide wingspan, leaf span, even though it's only got 3 leaves, but you win some, you lose some. I'm gonna go and put this rubbish outside. Okay, so I want to get you a bit lower There we go. Up close and personal. So, okay, now you can see how messy the table is, but here's what it is. So these are 3 pots of strawberries, which are not doing so hot. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm kind of just, I like to have at least 1 or 2 plants that I'm just experimenting with, and I don't know 100% exactly what to do, or like I'm not super on them. This is one of them right now. I basically just water it when I remember, and I rotate it so that they don't all look like, for example, they're clearly all looking this way. Sometimes and then I'll rotate it so they'll all look the other way, and then they'll adjust. Yeah, so all I'm going to do is remove the dead leaves. That's all. For this segment, we will be answering music-related questions. So I'm going to take them one at a time. Question number 1. Top 3 mood-boosting songs. This is going to be very, what's the word? Like, time-bound, because it's really just going to be what's on my mind right now. Let me put that in the view so you can see it. I just finished watching Issa Rae's Rap Shit from HBO, and the song that they like, the debut song of the rap duo in that show, Seduce and Scheme, it's actually a bop. Like, you can't see me, I was out of focus. It's actually a bop. I can't even lie. That song is a bop. So it's actually my alarm right now. It just gets me going. It just gets me. What is that? Is that an insect? Anyway, Seduce and Scheme. It's a bop, and it gets people going. I love the production, the beat, and also their flow is just, yeah, it's fun. So if you haven't seen that show, definitely watch it. And also that song is good. Even if you haven't watched the show, you should listen to that song. Like, it's just a good song. This is wet. Okay. Next. Oh no, sorry. Top 3 mood boosting songs. I'm really enjoying Rush by Ayra Starr right now, and that is a very I don't know how to explain it. Oh, actually, I explained this on on my Instagram story the other day. If you don't follow me on Instagram, please do. If you want to see what's going on between the videos and also just see random things that are on my mind. So I was going through a bunch of songs I was listening to and explaining how they made me feel using visual representations and descriptors. And the way I described Rush was, I think I said that it makes me feel like I've just opened a chilled can of ginger beer, Old Jamaica ginger beer to be precise, the only recognized brand of ginger beer in my opinion. If in an absolute pinch, you can get that Australian brand, which is the name I've forgotten, but Old Jamaica is really the way forward. Anyway, that song makes me feel like I've just done on a perfectly chilled can of ginger beer. And yeah, gets me in a good mood, in a more light way. Seduce and Scheme is pretty much like a I don't know how to explain it, but Rush is a bit more like light and airy and sparkly and twinkly kind of sensation. Let me think of one more song that's mood boosting. Oh, Alien Superstar. Now, come on now. I used to play that song in the car every single day on the way to boxing. Well, every time I went to boxing, I'd play that on the way. And yeah, because I just pulled out some healthy leaves. Anyway, I play that song, and the way that it makes me feel like I am running things, like, wow. It's the dum dum dum, dum dum dum, dum dum. I'm one of one, dum dum. I'm number one, dum dum. The only one. What? Don't even waste your time trying to compete with me. Don't do it. Like, I'm gonna move on. Next question. What album are you playing to your plants to make them grow? That's a really good question. I have been listening to, I listened to the last two Twice albums, which I listened to back to back, because they release albums like it is their job, but as in, they release albums so frequently that it's a bit aggressive. Like, they'll really give you a whole, 12-track album or EP every 6 months. Like, it's nothing. So, Twice, that's a lot of, like, I'd say, upbeat and plant growth promoting music. And let me think of one more. It was at this moment I realized that I'm yanking out perfectly healthy plants. Bartees Strange. Boomer and what's another song? Well, actually, Boomer. Let's just stick with Boomer. Love that song, and I think that would definitely get the plants going. Next question. I knew someone was going to ask me this question. Yes, I have split this into 2 parts. So if you want to hear the answer to this question, what are your top 5 favorite albums of 2022 so far? Or this question, what makes you happy? Then stay tuned for part 2 coming out very shortly. As I said, I haven't said it yet, so I'm going to say it now. Please make sure you like, comment if you have a response to one of my questions. I'd like to know what you think. Subscribe if you want to see the next part. If you are interested in other videos, then I will put one up on the screen here. And I will see you for part 2. Also, thank you to everyone who sent in questions. It was much appreciated. It gave me a lot of inspiration to make sure this video happened. And because you asked a question, I hope that you will want to watch it to see what I answered to your question.